All right, guys, I got a question about 3RIR. What does it mean? Okay, 3RIR stands for 3 reps in reserve. And that's just a way for us to prescribe volume, all right? Reps, essentially. Oftentimes you'll see 5x or 10x or 15x, right? And that's going to apply to exercises where you can change the load very easily. Something like a barbell bench press, for example, or a kettlebell swing. If we prescribe 10, you just pick the load that you can do 10. And it's very easy to adjust the loading to match the desired volume. But with body weight exercises, that's not always the case. We see huge differences, discrepancies in what people can do on body weight exercises. Things like pull-ups, dips, push-ups, right? For example, some people can do 1 or 2 pull-ups, some can do over 20. So if we start assigning something like 10x pull-ups, it doesn't really make sense because we're going to have to significantly scale the exercise for these over here, and then we might even need to add external load for the athletes who can do like 20 plus. So oftentimes what you'll see is something like 3 reps in reserve, 2 reps in reserve, 1 rep in reserve. And that's gonna allow the athlete to work up to a challenging point, right? Not all the way to failure. And then we can actually progress this over time from going 3 to 2 to 1, working closer to failure, getting more volume in. All right, it's been working really well for our athletes once they understand conceptually what 3RIR stands for, what it feels like. We've been telling people, and this also applies to if we have a set loading on a barbell exercise like 80% or 85% of a back squat or bench press, is that 3 reps in reserve essentially is going to be, you're going to go 1 unbroken set, right? You're just going to continue to work nice and smooth. Once you get to the point where you're going to want to stop and pause, or the barbell slows down, or you start to kind of like just compensate and lean or start to do odd things as you're doing the lift, we would call that 3 reps in reserve, all right? You got a good burn, the barbell changes speed, or things start to shift around a little bit, okay? 2 reps in reserve would be getting to that point and doing 1 more rep. 1 rep in reserve would be like getting to that point and then pushing another one out and then another one out. Now, in theory, you might be able to do maybe 1 more rep after that, but what we're really kind of thinking about is we want to train ourselves enough or do enough volume and make it challenging enough to where we're actually going to force or try to stimulate the body enough to get adaptation, but not so much that we're going all the way to failure and we're incurring a bunch of fatigue. So reps in reserve is a great way for you, the athlete, to have some agency in regards to how much volume. Now, this doesn't only apply to athletic ability, it also applies to how you feel. How did you sleep the night before? Did you drink the day before? Are you stressed? All these things can influence your performance the following day or that week. So what this does is allows you in times when you're extremely fatigued, stressed, didn't sleep very well. If we get something like, back squats at 85 or 90%, right, instead of us just assigning 4 or 5 or maybe 3, then you can kind of choose. So you might be like, hey man, I'm only doing sets of 1 or 2 today because I'm juiced, all right? So a great way to assign volume. You're gonna see in our programming a lot with set loading and with body weight exercises.